Alright guys, let us get started with the recap of Volume 4. Now, I had to write down a whole bunch of stuff about right here. Well, you probably can't see it. Right here is where I started, and I went all the way down to here, because, man, I can't believe I filled up 2 pages. But, yeah, this video is gonna be a little while. So, Volume 4 of RWBY, and also if you're watching this and you haven't watched RWBY, go watch RWBY because it's good. Go to Rooster Teeth, or go to Rooster Teeth on YouTube, or go to their website and watch the series. It's very good. Now, the villain meeting in the beginning of Season 4, I still like that. That is still one of my favorite scenes in Season 4. Showing all the, I guess we would call them right now, main villains. And getting to see Salem again. Now, that they were just dictating where they're going to go for the season and what's happening. After that, we introduced to Oscar, and Oscar, I'm still not sure where I sit on his character. To me, he's kind of fine right now. He's not really bad right now or good, and we'll see more of him in Season 5. But yeah, and we learned that I'm just gonna kind of go with the individual character stories and say what's happened in their, in their story. I'm not gonna go like in chronological order of what happened in the whole season. But let's first get on Oscar. Oscar, we find out that Ozpin has transferred to him, and it's funny that his name is Oscar, which is very close to Ozpin, and that he is, well, he's essentially the wizard, and every time he dies, he transfers his knowledge into another person, which is still very interesting, and I'm looking forward to kind of see how Ozpin and Oscar are still communicating in Season 5, and I would like more individual scenes with them. But as we go on, Ozpin convinces him to leave his house and to go to Haven to train to be a huntsman. Which, I'm wondering if he's going to have Ozpin's powers. Like, as soon as he transfers to you, do you have his powers? Or is he literally just a voice in your head? And powers don't get transferred over. Which I'm still very interested in. And he meets Hazel on the way. And Hazel and Ozpin seem to have a history, like it seems like Salem and Ozpin have. Which I don't like that we still don't have a lot on Hazel. And we don't know at that point if he was traveling to go meet SiennaCon or if he was going from SiennaCon's meeting, which I hope we'll probably see in Season 5. And by the end of the volume, he meets up with Crow, which was an okay end credit scene. It wasn't my favorite, but it was good. But now let's move on to Yang's story. Now, with Yang, like I always said that, I think I said this in my past reviews, that I think her story moved too quick and we didn't get enough of her. She was still suffering from basically PTSD of getting her arm cut off, and I like that. I like that they were showing that. And then my most favorite scene in the volume with her, Oobleck, Port, and her father, that whole kitchen scene was literally it made me feel good inside. It was my favorite scene in the volume so far. Well, favorite scene in the volume, period. I love that scene a lot, because it had a lot of heart in it. But after that, she eventually puts the arm on, which I thought was a little too quick, but I was okay with it. And the next thing we see her training, and I wanted to see what she was getting used to the arm, but it's fine. I like the relationship that Yang and Tai have. It's a really good father-daughter relationship. But eventually she spray paints her arm to black and yellow, and she goes off to find Ruby. And that's basically her whole story. I still think it was too fast, but that's just my opinion. Now, with Weiss. with Weiss, I want to talk about Ironwood. Ironwood, I understand why he's doing what he's doing, but I feel like this is gonna bite him in the ass at or into the series, because he is stopping transporting dust to everyone. He's shutting down the whole kingdom, which is bad. He's not letting anybody go in or out without his permission, and he may become a dictator. I'm really not gonna like in future seasons if we have to fight Ironwood, but that's later in the series. And Weiss's dad, of course, he's a dick. He has no redeeming qualities as of right now, and I don't know if the show's gonna just put him as a one-dimensional character or not. I hope they don't, but they might. We meet Whitley, her brother, and he always rubbed me the wrong way as soon as I saw him, so that's a thing by itself. But I think that's about it. Oh wait, no. And then she gets her title of the heir to the family fortune taken away from her, and Whitley gets it. And she breaks out with with the help of Klein, her butler. Klein, I liked him also. Klein was alright. I didn't hate him at all. He was a good character. I thought he'd be more in Weiss's story, but and I didn't think her escape would be that easy. Now, moving on to Blake. I liked her story, and Sun, I liked Sun also. People said Sun overshadowed her. To me, I didn't really think he overshadowed her, but yeah, I can see how people would think that. And it is a little creepy that Sun kind of stalked her for months on end. But the whole country of Menagerie was very nice. I liked it, and I can see why the White Fang do not like humans with what they kind of gave them. Because I think it was 2/3 of the country that they live in is basically desert, which sucks. We meet her father and her mother, which they're great characters as well. And we meet, oh my god, Ilya, that's her name. Ilya, I am looking forward to see what they're going to do with her character in the future. And not much really happened in Blake's thing. Some stuff did happen, of course, but not a lot. The last shot of her is her getting ready to take back the White Fang. And I am looking forward to that as well. And her eventual meetup with Adam. Now, with Team Ranger / Crow, they were the main story, of course. And they've been traveling for a few months now. And I think they've just been doing side jobs to get money on the way there. Jean gets his new gear, which looks very good, by the way. I love his new look, his new armor look. His old armor look did not look that well in this new engine of animation. And we find out that Crow has been kind of protecting them this whole time, which I don't think he should have done. I'm pretty sure they could have taken care of themselves, but that's another thing. We see Crow talks to Raven, and we find out that Raven most likely has the Spring Maiden. And thanks to the trailer that was recently released, we know she most likely does. And Raven, I am interested in her, and I'm happy that we're going to get more of her in the next season. After that, they get attacked by Tyrion. And Tyrion, I still love his. Some people said he's a little too over the top. I can understand why they think that, but me personally, I like over the top characters, and he was absolutely destroying Team Ranger. And I was surprised to also see he was a Faunus. And him versus Crow was a great fight. That fight was fantastic. The animation was on point with that fight, and of course, it's my favorite fight in the whole volume. In that fight, Tyrion gets his tail chopped off, but he does poison Crow fatally. And we learn, and Crow tells them about the two old gods, the older and younger brother, God of Light, and the God of Darkness, and what they created. And also about the relics. It seems weird because they're starting to put in a whole bunch of stuff in the series. They have, because we have the Silver-Eyed Warriors, which we still don't know where the heck they came from. We have the Maidens, and we have the relics. I feel like they're putting in too much stuff. I hope that's all they do, because if they put in more like important things, they could probably add one more to explain what the heck Salem is. But I think that if they put in more stuff, it might be a little too much for the series. But he explains to them what that is, and he's getting worse the longer they go. They have to split up to see which way to Menagerie. To Haven they can get to the quickest. And we get a Ren flashback. Ren's flashback was very good. I loved how the Grimm was kind of silhouetted, and how terrifying they made it be. And we also get to see Ren's semblance finally, which is to basically, I think, calm his emotions. And by calming his emotions, the Grimm cannot see him because they feed off emotions. They are attracted to emotions, so if you have no emotion, they can't see you at all. They can't detect you, which was very well done. And as we see later in the fight with the Nekalavi, I think it's called. I might be pronouncing that wrong, though. But they find the cave where it's been, and for some reason, I'm surprised it still has the arrow that his father had, which is still, like, really weird. And the Nekalavi, the character design of it, I thought it would be more terrifying. The skull part, I said this in my review, like, when Volume 4 ended, but the skull didn't really get me at all. It wasn't terrifying enough for me. And I thought it would be more of a fight to kill it. Because it did get rid of Renonor's aura, but it still didn't feel, like, terrifying. It didn't feel like a, I don't know, I would call it like an Alpha Grimm would. Which was disappointing to me, but the fight all in all was good. And those are my guinea pigs. I don't know why they are doing that right now. But at the end, they finally get to Haven, because some people come to get them after they see the destruction and stuff that happened with the Nekalavi. And Crow gets fixed and everything. It was a very good end-off, and we learned that Professor Lionheart is in league with Salem. Now, right now, we don't know if he's, like, willingly or he's just kind of scared giving into them, which we'll see later in Volume 5. Now, some side comments that I wanted to say before this is all done was the animation. I kind of only have one real problem besides the Yang thing. The animation seemed too floaty. The old animation seemed like it had weight to it, but with this animation, it didn't seem that way. Things seem very floaty. Like for example, the Blake's fight with the Sea Dragon. That was very floaty to me. It did, because like they were hanging in the air, they weren't really falling, and it was really weird. And you can see that in some of the fights in the volume, that the animation was kind of wonky. But besides that, I didn't really have any problem. If you're still here, remember to, I would ask you to comment down below, because I would love to talk to you above anything else. But make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more RWBY stuff and the other stuff that I do. And that's about it. See you guys later, and I hope to talk to you. Alright, bye guys.